All right, good morning. We are on day 4 of Advent of Code, so let's just jump straight into this. You arrive at the airport only to realize you grabbed your North Pole credentials instead of your passport. It seems like you're not the only one having problems, though. A very long line is formed. Okay, the automatic passport scanners are slow because they're having trouble detecting which passports have all the required fields. The expected fields are as follows. Birth year, okay. These are the fields. Passport data is validated in batch files, which is your puzzle input. Each passport is represented as a sequence of key value pairs separated by spaces or new lines. Okay. Passports are separated by blank lines. Here's an example batch file. Okay. The first passport is valid. All 8 fields are present. The second passport is invalid. It is missing HGT, the height field. The third passport is interesting. The only missing field is CID, so it looks like data from North Pole credentials, not a passport at all. Surely nobody would mind if you made the system temporarily ignore missing CID fields. Treat this passport as valid. The fourth passport is missing 2 fields, CID and BYR. Missing CID is fine, but missing any other field is not. So this passport is invalid. According to the above rules, your improved system would report 2 valid passports. Okay, so gist of it is we're going to do some string parsing, and then we're going to say it is valid if it has all 8 fields, and then it is also valid if the only missing field is the CID field. Okay, that sounds easy enough. Do some parsing, check some fields. Okay, let's do it. Let's paste our input in here. Okay, is this just a new line? It looks like it is. So the data is separated by 2 new lines. Let's see. Let passport strings equals input dot split by can I do that? Split by, actually I think this will work still, because I think what happens is if it splits, it'll split here, and then we're gonna print. I'm gonna debug immediately because I'm not actually sure that this behavior is right. So let's find out by inspecting it. It's running. Okay, so let's take a look at passport strings. Okay, first string. Okay, first string is EYR 2029 PID whatever. Okay, and then the second one is EYR 2029 PID 15737. Ooh, that's not what we want. Is it gonna do this? Interesting. Okay, let's try something else here. Replacing characters, replacing occurrences of 2 new lines with a single new line. Whoop. Let's see if that gets us what we want. Let's just print it out. Okay, that might be actually closer, and then we can split on the new line. Okay, let's pop this open and see what the strings look like. UAR 2029. Am I reading this wrong? And I had it right the first time? It looks like it's got the entire thing in it. Split dot map, actually dot map to so let's see if we can, if converting these substrings, because the splits might actually not. Oh, did I? Oh, that's ugly. Okay, so we only split on completely blank lines, not new lines. So like this right here. Dang. Okay, that's annoying. How do we split on a blank line? So I probably still want to do this. I wonder, okay, so here's an interesting idea. What if I replace, okay, so what if I replace instances, actually, can I split input dot split where separator, so the separator has to be a character. Okay, so what happens if I do this? What happens if I do /n and I replace it with semicolons, and then I split on semicolons? EYR 2029. Closer, but still not quite. No, 1962, birth year 1962. Okay, and then the next one is height 71 inches. Okay. Okay, I think we're okay there. Okay. So then what I think we can also do to make this easier to parse, placing occurrences of all the remaining new lines with a space. So then hopefully what this does is it kind of normalizes the data here. Yeah, so look at this. So now instead of random new lines, because there'd be a new line after 1570, it's just a space. Okay, so then we can take each of these individuals and we can split them. Okay. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an extension on NS dictionary. I'm not using a Swift dictionary because I don't want any type safety. I guess you could do a Swift dictionary. Yeah, this is a convenience initializer. Actually, I don't want to think about the initializer right now. Let's just do this. And this returns what am I supposed to, what's my input here? Count the number of valid passports. Okay. So this could fail then if it's not a valid passport, I guess. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go let components equals string.split based on the space. That's why we replaced them all with spaces. And then we're going to map these to just plain strings, I think. I'm going to assume that this is going to cause an issue like it has in other days. Again, trying not to think too hard. So that gets our components. And then, okay, so then what we can do is we can say for component in components, we're going to create a dictionary. In this dictionary, okay. Let key value equals component dot split by it's a colon, and then we're going to turn those back into strings again. I'm doing this all over the place, so I should. Why is that auto completion like that? That is very annoying. Oh, it's because I have this there. That makes sense. Okay, so for key value, then we're going to say dictionary sub key value dot first equals key value dot last. Okay, so I think that'll work, and then that will man, it's been so long since I've done this. Dot set value for key. There we go. Okay, so the value is the second item or the last item in the array. Key value dot first. Okay, so I think that'll work. We're going to return the dictionary. But before we return the dictionary, we'll want to do some validation. So let's make sure that this works first. This is getting so ugly. Let's map this one more time by calling ns dictionary dot from string $0. Okay. Okay. Key value unknown key exception set value. This class is not key value coding compliant for the key EUIR. What? Okay, let's try this. Is it just failing on the very first one? Is it going to be upset because they're strings and not ns strings? I would hope not. Yeah, it's failing on literally the first one. Should I just be using a Swift dictionary? What? Okay, this is so stupid. Already, this is what happens when you don't use something for a while. This is going to be a dictionary of string to. Actually, I know these are all going to be strings. Why would I use an NS dictionary? String to string. So let's go dictionary to. Oh, these are just the sort of things that happen when you haven't designed your API. You're just shooting from the hip and you're using stuff you haven't used for a while. Okay, dictionary, 6 key value pairs. Okay, cool. So the ones that we actually care about are these, but we're allowed CID to be missing. Okay, so this is easy enough. This is gonna bug me. Dictionary. Okay, and this will eventually be a compact map. So let's go ahead and do that. And then, this is gonna, dictionary, return dictionary 2, don't need dictionary 1 anymore. Okay. Key could not be inferred. Value could not be inferred. Is it just being done? No. Okay, I'll fix that in a second. Stop. String. Is that better? Is everybody suddenly happy? No, this guy's still mad. Okay. So then what we want to do is we want to say, we're going to say guard dictionary. It doesn't need to be called dictionary 2 anymore. Dictionary 2 sub byr is not equal nil. We're going to do this for all the fields. So byr, iyr, eyr, hgt, hcl, bcl, pid, and then cid. I'm gonna save this because I'm sure part 2 is going to need that. So that validates the fields. Okay, otherwise return the dictionary. Okay, I think that'll be good. Let's clean this garbage that I've made up. So I'm going to cut this one into let valid passports equals passport strings dot compact map. Oh, was it because well, I don't actually know. Generic parameter key it needs to know that. Okay. And then we're going to print out valid passports.count. Let's run that. 245. That sounds like a reasonable number. Okay. Let's go to part 2. Part 2, the line is moving quickly, but over here, airport security talking about how passports with invalid data are getting through. Better add some data validation quick. You can continue to ignore the CID field, but each other field has strict rules about what values are valid for automatic validation. 4 digits, at least 1920. 4 digits, okay. Okay. Fine. So now we just have to have a whole bunch of more validation. Okay, but I can continue to ignore CID, which is just a weird requirement. Okay. So for our validation, first things first. 4 digits. Okay, it looks like this is a if CM. Oh, because it has the measurements at the end. Okay. Okay, so for this, pretty easy. So we're going to do I'm going to do an extension on string that is 4-digit between min and max int. Okay. So I think between 1920 and 2002 valid, invalid. Okay, so it's an inclusive or. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to, the first one's birth year and issue year. Okay, so they at least kept them in order for us. So we're going to let birth year equals that. So that replaces our nil check, and BYR dot 4 digits between 1920 and 2002. 1920 and 2002. 2002 or 2020? 2002. Okay, and so then what we'll do is we'll say return self.count count equals 4. Keep in mind that doesn't work if we didn't know the input was going to be consistent numbers. I don't know if I can actually do this. Equals self and number is greater than or equal to min, and number is less than or equal to max. I guess I don't. I'm gonna guess it doesn't let me do that. Yeah, because then that's optional. Well, and my syntax is all wonky. I don't know why I thought that would work, because I thought this was sort of like an if let or a guard let. So we're going to do that, else return. Okay, so that's actually a little bit safer. Return false. Okay, and then these are not ors, these are ands, because it needs to meet all these requirements. Okay, so that'll work. Okay, 2010 and 2020. Let IYR equals this, and IYR dot 4 digits between 2010 and 2020. 2020. Okay, and then EYR 2020 and 2030. 2020. 2030. Okay. A number followed by either CM or IN. It must be at least. Okay. Let's wait a second and see. Well, I'm going to make an extension anyway, but I want to see if anybody else has similar requirements. Hair color. A hashtag followed by exactly 6 characters. Done. 0 through 9 or A through F. Okay, fun. That feels regexy. Exactly 1 of and blue. Okay. 9-digit number, including leading zeros. Okay. So these all are pretty different at this point. Valid height. So I'm just going to do these all in extensions because it's kind of nice to be able to call them inline like this. Okay, so the requirement is a number. Okay, so if self dot has suffix, if it has the suffix cm, else if self dot has suffix dot in, and then else return false. Okay, a number followed by either cm or in. Let number. Okay, let's see. Number string equals self dot remove well, I don't want, okay, that's not what I want. Self.substring prefix returns a subsequence up to the specified maximum length containing the initial elements. Okay, so we want the prefix, which is always going to be self.count -2, I think. Is that what it wants? The maximum length. Okay, I think that's right. Okay. And then we're gonna say let number equals int from numstring. Okay. If we're actually, so this is optional. So this is a check to make sure it actually converted to a number. So what I'm actually going to do here is because this is nested, I'm just going to return false on the outside if everything happens to fail. Okay, so if it's centimeters, at least 150 and at most 195, return number is greater than or equal to 150, and number is less than or equal to 193. And then 59 and 76. Okay, I'm just curious if this actually even works. So before I move on, I kind of want to give it a try. Valid height. Okay, let's see. 65 has suffix cm, has suffix im. Okay. Let's make sure it actually finds a cm at some point. It does. Okay. Okay. Cool. Hair color. A hashtag followed by exactly 0 through 9 or A through F. Swift, Regex, I really don't remember how to do regular expressions in Swift. Just in this regular expression. Okay, let's see if that works. Func valid hair color. Regular expression pattern. Returns initialized regular expression instance with the specified regular expression pattern options. And this throws. I'm gonna regret this. Okay, so this is one of the things I learned about is you can do raw strings, and the options are case insensitive, I guess. Okay, so not save that. So we're going to go to regex101.com and we're going to try to learn some regex here. So I think it's hashtag matches the character hashtag literally /D. No, /D matches first capture group matches any character that is not a digit. That is a digit. Regex a match number of digits. A certain number of digits. This matches exactly 9 digits, followed by an optional extra 2 digits. Oh, it's the curly brace. 9. Okay, what was the actual requirement here? Either 0 through 9 or A through F. Regex, digit or letter. A through Z, 0 through 9. Okay, so maybe what we want is A through Z, 0 through 9. Not literally, that's what I want. Oh, there's like a bracket. Do I put a bracket around it? This is how you learn regex, folks, is you guess. Match a single character present in the list below. Matches exactly 9 items, a single character in the range A through Z, a single character in the range capital A through capital Z, and 0 through 9. I think that's the regex I want. I actually don't even know if I need the capture group, honestly. That's a single character represented by the list below 9 times. I don't know that I need the capture group. Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm gonna leave this as is, and then we'll see if the capture group bites me or not. Regex dot matches in self specifies the matches are limited to those at the start of the search range. Call the block, report progress, being in a search range. I guess anchored. Great. Is there another option? This does not feel like what I want. That matches in range. These all out of range. Okay. I don't remember how to do the range. Oh. Well, hello. Let's try that. Self.range of this dot regular expression, and then the rest are optional. Okay. Maybe that's what we want. I don't know. I've never used this before. Learning something new. I'm gonna try that. See if that works. Hopefully it does. Valid hair color. Okay, let's see what happens. False. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, it already doesn't work. Okay, what happens if I remove the capture group? Still false. What is It's actually no. Okay, range of defines and returns the range of the first occurrence of a given string with a given range of the string, subject to given options. Okay. Well, let's before we get hasty, let's take this over to Regex 101 and see if I actually have my Regex no match. Okay. Oh, it has to be 9 characters. And I just get saved for myself here. Exactly 6 characters. I'm dumb. So it needs to be 6, not 9. I was reading the 0 through 9, which doesn't make sense because that's not a real hex value. Okay, let's find one that's false. True, true. Oh, dang it. False. No hashtag at the beginning. Okay. Fair enough. And is there only one that's invalid? Come on. Okay. I'm going to call this probably good enough for now. Okay. Valid eye color. Exactly one of. Okay. That's super easy. Func valid eye color. We're literally just going to check if it equals one of these. Boop, boop, and then I can copy. I'm gonna actually copy and paste the comma too. Equals that. Equals that. I guess I can copy the closing thing too. That. And that. Oh, I'm dumb. Replace commas with ors. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. So self is and blue or gray, green. Or. Okay, good enough. Let ECL equals this. ECL.valid eye color. And then finally, PID, 9-digit number, including leading zeros. Okay. So I think we can actually do the same thing we did with the regex. Valid I or valid PID. Okay, it's going to be this, but it is, what do they say? A 9-digit number, including leading zeros. So exactly 9 0 through 9s. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing. Well, actually, why do that when I can do this? Nope. Copied too much. This. Okay. No match. One match. Okay, that's what I want then. Make sure that an A, yep, and a B. Oh, dot regular expression. I want it to be at the beginning. And shortcut and self dot count equals 9, I guess. Okay. we can figure out which one of these is wrong later if one of them's wrong. PID dot valid PID else return nil. Okay, let's validate some data. 133. Okay. Let's try that. 133. 1 gold star. We validated correctly. All right, let's walk through the solution really quick because that took a lot longer than I expected to solve. Okay, so first of all, the hardest thing for me, I think, in terms of just like not knowing how to do something, was this part, right? Like converting the input data that can have new lines in it to only recognizing blank lines. I don't know how I'd solve this in the real world if I didn't have like a known way to validate the data. I'd have to think about it a little bit longer because this only works because I know that there's not going to be any semicolons in the data. If there were semicolons anywhere in this data, this is going to fail. So I'd have to think about this more. Also, like if the split was failing in some way, you know, I'd have to really try to figure out, like, I'd have to search this. Actually, I should have done that from the beginning. And there's not. Are there any commas? There's not. So like there's a few different characters I could have used. And like, I guess in the real world, maybe I would have used like a really obscure character. I don't know. Probably had to work with the back end to make sure that whatever data validation we do doesn't contain specific characters. But anyway, so solving that first part took me a second. Then this part was just convenience, right? Like I still could have done it. I think you can actually, even for this one, I think there's a way to split on any white space character. And so I didn't necessarily need to do that. And again, if I had more time, I would have done some reading to see if I can split on any white space. There's a class called character set where you can do new lines, white, regular spaces, return carriages, stuff like that. Okay, and then because I'd already converted everything to a semicolon, I can split. So like that was kind of hard for me to like wrap my head around, but like none of this is stuff that I just wasn't sure if it would work. I wasn't like, these were all things that tools that I've used before. In this dictionary thing, I don't know why I was being brain dead. I knew that this dictionary is going to be string to string. I should have used that from the beginning. So that was just a brain dead moment. And then and in terms of validating each of these numbers, like I knew that I was going to use a dictionary from the beginning because fields can be optional, and when they're all going to be a homogeneous type like this, it's just easier. I probably could have decoded this into, I probably could have taken this data and done the same kind of a string replace and converted this to JSON, and it would have been maybe a little bit easier, and maybe I would have had to do, like, validation might have been a little easier because I think it can automatically convert to number types for you and stuff, but this was easy enough. Worst case, I mean, it's maybe a little slow, but besides that, I think it was fine. The other thing too, we're self.count. So I briefly called this out. So if you don't have validated text and like the input could contain emojis, for example, self.count is going to fail. So I would probably want like self.utf16 .count or something like that. It's been a while since I've had to deal with text that can contain extended grapheme clusters. So, but I knew that this would work because what I'm trying to do is I have to first convert it to a number, and if I can first convert it to a number, then that means that it only has digits 0 through 9. So the fact that I knew I was converting it to a number meant I was safe to do that. Let's see, regular expressions. I'm not good with regular expressions. So, as obvious here, I was Googling how to use them in Swift. Regex101.com is your friend if you're trying to write a regular expression. I've got this browser at the bottom right. I don't know that it has everything, and when in doubt, You just Google it and there's going to be a Stack Overflow answer. Like there are so many answers on regular expressions, so it's super easy to find what you're looking for. So lost time there because I was slow. I don't know what I'm doing about regular expressions, but the nice thing is this requirement is crazy similar to this one, so it's easy to modify the answer. There, string matching, no problem there. And then this is one of the things, shout out to Dave DeLong. He pointed out in his day 2 solution, I can't remember which one, this new feature that I had never seen, which is raw strings. So normally, if there are certain characters in a string that you have to put like a slash in front of to escape them, this raw string basically says between the hashtag quotes, literally what is in here is the string. So even if I have like another quote in here, like leave that quote alone because it's part of the string, which is super interesting. So anyway, but that's valuable for regex because it means you can read this just like normal regex and there's not extra slashes, and you can copy and paste between this and regex 101 to get answers or to validate. The last thing is valid PID. So the reason why I put this here is, as you saw with the regular expression, it will find where the regular expression exists. I'm sure that there's a way in regular expression land to maybe say the length is a certain length or something, but you know, I'm on a time crunch. So like this is an example of a string that would have succeeded because the regex does exist in that string, does match. And so I just said, okay, well, if it matches and the string is exactly 9 characters, because we knew that the requirement is it is 9 and only 9 characters, and those 9 characters are numbers. So anyway, I can probably Google this later. I'm sure there's a way to enforce length of a string with regex in some way. Okay, well, that's day 4. Thanks for joining. Hopefully you learned something, saw a solution maybe you hadn't seen before. And if nothing else, enjoyed watching me struggle to use APIs either that I haven't used before or haven't used in a long time. If you're enjoying these videos, like and subscribe. We're doing every single day. And outside of this, we're going to continue doing Swift tutorials and helping people, especially beginners that are trying to learn how to do iOS or Mac programming to improve their skills. All right, we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.